Shemuel, Aleph, or First Samuel, 9 through 12. And there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, son of Abiel, son of Zeror, son of Bechorath, son of Aphiah, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power. And he had a son whose name was Sha'ul, young and handsome. And there was not a more handsome man than he among the children of Israel, taller than any of the people by the shoulders upwards. And the donkeys of Kish, father of Sha'ul, were lost. And Kish said to his son Sha'ul, "Please take one of the servants with you. Arise and go seek the donkeys." And he passed through the mountains of Ephraim and through the land of Shalishah, but they did not find them. Then they passed through the land of Sha'alim, but they were not. Then he passed through the land of the Benjamites, but they did not find them. Then they came to the land of Tsuf, and Sha'ul said to his servant who was with him, "Come, let us turn back, lest my father stops thinking about the donkeys and becomes worried about us." And he said to him, "See, there is in this city a man of Elohim, and the man is esteemed. All that he says comes true without fail. Now let us go there. It could be that he shows us the way to go." And Sha'ul said to his servant, "But look, if we go, what do we bring the man? For the bread in our bags is all gone, and there's no present to bring the man of Elohim. What do we have?" And the servant answered Sha'ul again and said, "Look, I have here at hand 1/4 of a shekel of silver, and I shall give that to the man of Elohim, and he shall make known to us our way." Formerly in Israel, when a man went to inquire of Elohim, he spoke thus: "Come, let us go to the seer." For the prophet of today was formerly called a seer. And Sha'ul said to his servant, "Your word is good, come, let us go." And they went to the city where the man of Elohim was. They went up the hill to the city. They met some young women going out to draw water and said to them, "Is the seer here?" And they answered them and said, "He is. Look ahead of you. Hurry now, for he came to the city today, for the people have a slaughtering on the high place today. As you come into the city, you're going to find him before he goes up to the high place to eat. For the people do not eat until he comes, for he blesses the slaughtering. Afterward, they who are invited eat. And now go up, for you should find him about this time." And they went up to the city. They were coming into the midst of the city and saw Shemuel coming out toward them to go up to the high place. And YHVH had revealed to Shemuel in his ear the day before Sha'ul came, saying, "At this time tomorrow I shall send you a man from the land of Benjamin, and you shall anoint him leader over my people Israel. And he shall save my people from the hand of the Philistines, for I've seen my people, because their cry has come to me." And when Shemuel saw Sha'ul, YHVH said to him, "See, the man of whom I spoke to you. Let this one govern. Let him govern my people." And Sha'ul drew near to Shemuel in the gate and said, "Please inform me, where is the house of the seer?" And Shemuel answered Sha'ul and said, "I am the seer. Go up before me to the high place, for you shall eat with me today. And tomorrow I shall let you go and make known to you all that is in your heart. As for your donkeys that were lost 3 days ago, do not set your heart on them, for they've been found. And on whom is all the desire of Israel? Is it not on you and on your father's house?" And Sha'ul answered and said, "Am I not a Benjamite of the smallest of the tribes of Israel? And my clan is the least of all the clans of the tribes of Benjamin. Why then do you speak like this to me?" And Shemuel took Sha'ul and his servant and brought them into the hall and gave them a place at the head of those who were invited. There were about 30 men. And Shemuel said to the cook, "Bring the portion which I gave you, of which I told you to set it aside." And the cook brought it out, the thigh with its upper part, and set it before Sha'ul. And Shemuel said, "See what was kept back? It was set aside for you. Eat, for it has been kept for you for this appointed time," saying, "I've invited the people." And Sha'ul ate with Shemuel on that day. And they came down from the high place into the city, and Shemuel spoke with Sha'ul on the roof. And they arose early, and it came to be about the dawning of the day that Shemuel called to Sha'ul on the roof, saying, "Rise, so that I send you on your way." And Sha'ul rose, and both of them went outside, he and Shemuel. As they were walking toward the edge of the city, Shemuel said to Sha'ul, "Say to the servant to go on ahead of us." And he went on. "But you stand here a moment so that I let you hear the word of Elohim." Chapter 10. And Shemuel took a flask of oil and poured it on his head and kissed him and said, "Is it not because YHVH has anointed you leader over his inheritance? When you leave me today, you shall find 2 men by Rachel's burial place in the border of Benjamin at Tzelzah, and they shall say to you, 'The donkeys which you went to look for have been found, and see, your father has left the matter of the donkeys and is worrying about you, saying, What shall I do for my son?' And you shall pass on from there and beyond, and shall come to the terebinth tree of Tabor, and 3 men going up to Elohim at Bethel shall find you there, one bearing 3 goats, another bearing 3 loaves of bread, and another bearing a skin of wine. And they shall greet you and give you 2 loaves of bread, which you shall accept from their hand. After that, go to the hill of Elohim, where the Philistine watchpost is. And it shall be, when you have come up there to the city, that you shall meet a group of prophets coming down from the high place, with a stringed instrument and a tambourine and a flute and a lyre before them. And they are prophesying. And the Spirit of YHVH shall come upon you, and you shall prophesy with them, and be turned into another man. And it shall be, when these signs come to you, do for yourself as your hand finds to do, for Elohim is with you. And you shall go down before me to Gilgal. And see, I'm coming down to you to offer ascending offerings and slaughterings of peace offerings. Wait 7 days till I come to you. Then I shall make known to you what you should do." And it came to be, when he had turned his back to go from Shemuel, that Elohim gave him another heart. And all those signs came on that day. And they came there to a hill and saw a group of prophets to meet him. And the Spirit of Elohim came upon him, and he prophesied in their midst. And it came to be, all who knew him formerly looked and saw that he prophesied among the prophets. So the people said to each other, "What is this that has come upon the son of Kish? Is Sha'ul also among the prophets?" And a man there answered and said, "And who is their father?" That is why it became a proverb. Is Sha'ul also among the prophets? And when he stopped prophesying, he went to the high place. And the uncle of Sha'ul asked him and his servant, "Where did you go?" And he said, "To look for the donkeys. And when we saw that they were nowhere to be found, we went to Shemuel." And the uncle of Sha'ul said, "Please inform me what Shemuel said to you." And Sha'ul said to his uncle, "He informed us plainly that the donkeys had been found." But he did not disclose to him about the matter of the rain, what Shemuel had said. And Shemuel called the people together to YHVH at Mitzpah, and said to the children of Israel, Thus said Yehovah, the Elohim of Israel, I have brought Israel up from out of Mitzrayim, and delivered you from the hand of the Mitzrites, and from the hand of all reigns, and from those who oppressed you. And today you have rejected your Elohim, who himself saved you out of all your evils and your distress. And you have said to him, no, but set a sovereign over us. And now present yourselves before Yehovah by your tribes and by your clans. And Shemuel brought near all the tribes of Israel, and the tribe of Benjamin was taken. Then he brought near the tribe of Benjamin by their clans, and the clan of Matri was taken. And Sha'ul, the son of Kish, was taken. And when they sought him, he could not be found. And they asked again of Yehovah, has the man come here yet? And Yehovah answered, see, he's hidden by the baggage. And they ran and brought him from there, and he stood in the midst of the people, and he was taller than any of the people from his shoulders and upwards. And Shemuel said to all the peoples, do you see him who Yehovah has chosen, that there is no one like him among all the people? And all the people shouted and said, let the sovereign live. And Shemuel declared to the people the rulings of the reign, and wrote it in a book, and placed it before Yehovah. And Shemuel sent all the people away, each to his house. And Sha'ul went to his house too, to Gabah. And with him went brave men, whose hearts Elohim had touched. But the sons of Belial said, what, does this one save us? And they despised him and brought him no presents. But he kept silent. Chapter 11. And Nahash the Ammonite came up and camped against Yabesh-Gilead, and all the men of Yabesh said to Nahash, make a covenant with us, and we shall serve you. Then Nahash the Ammonite answered them, for this I make a covenant with you, that I dig out all your right eyes, and I shall bring reproach on all Israel. Then the elders of Yabesh said to him, leave us alone for 7 days, so that we send messengers to all the borders of Israel. And then, if there's no one to save us, we shall come out to you. And the messengers came to Gabah of Sha'ul and spoke the words in the hearing of the people. And all the people lifted up their voices and wept. And look, Sha'ul was coming behind the herd from the field, and Sha'ul said, why are the people weeping? And they related to him the words of the men of Yabesh. And the spirit of Elohim came upon Sha'ul mightily as he heard these words, and his displeasure burned greatly. And he took a yoke of cattle and cut them in pieces, and sent them throughout all the borders of Israel by the hands of the messengers, saying, whoever does not go out with Sha'ul and Shemuel to battle, let this be done to his cattle. And the fear of Yehovah fell on the people, and they came out as one man. And he mustered them in Bezek, and the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Yehudah 30,000. They said to the messengers who came, say this to the men of Yabesh-Gilead, tomorrow, by the time the sun is hot, you shall have help. Then these messengers came and informed the men of Yabesh, and they rejoiced. So the men of Yabesh said, tomorrow we come out to you, and you shall do to us whatever seems good to you. And it came to be on the next day that Sha'ul put the people in 3 companies, and they came into the midst of the camp in the morning watch and struck Ammon until the heat of day. And it came to be that those left were scattered, so that no 2 of them were left together. And the people said to Shemuel, who said, shall Sha'ul reign over us? Bring the men so that we put them to death. But Sha'ul said, no man is put to death this day, for today Yehovah has wrought deliverance in Israel. And Shemuel said to the people, "Come and let us go to Gilgal and renew the reign there." And all the people went to Gilgal, and there they set up Sha'ul to reign before YHVH in Gilgal, and there they slaughtered slaughterings of peace offerings before YHVH. And there Sha'ul rejoiced, and all the men of Israel, very greatly. Chapter 12. And Shemuel said to all Israel, "Look, I've listened to your voice and all that you've said to me, and have set a sovereign over you. And now look, the sovereign is walking before you. I'm old and gray, and look, my sons are with you. And I have walked before you from my youth until this day. Look, here I am, witness against me before YHVH and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Or whose donkey have I taken? Or whom have I oppressed? Whom have I abused? Or from whose hand have I received any bribe with which to blind my eyes, then restore it to you?" And they said, "You have not oppressed us or abused us, nor have you taken any bribe from anyone's hand." So he said to them, "YHVH is witness against you, and his anointed is witness today that you found naught in my hand." And they answered, "He is witness." Shemuel said to the people, "It is YHVH who appointed Moshe and Aaron, and who brought your fathers up from the land of Mitzrayim. And now stand still, so that I judge you before YHVH concerning all the righteous acts of YHVH which he did to you and your fathers. When Yaakov had come to Mitzrayim, and your fathers cried out to YHVH, then YHVH sent Moshe and Aaron, who brought your fathers out of Mitzrayim and made them dwell in this place. But they forgot YHVH their Elohim, so he sold them into the hand of Sisera, commander of the army of Hatzor, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the sovereign Moab. And they fought against them. And they cried out to YHVH and said, "We have sinned, because we have forsaken YHVH and served the Baals and the Ashtaroth. And now deliver us from the hand of our enemies. We serve you." And YHVH sent Yerubbabel and Badan and Yiftah and Shemuel, and delivered you out of the hand of your enemies round about, and you dwelt in safety. And when you saw that Nahash, sovereign of the children of Ammon, come against you, you said to me, "No, but let a sovereign reign over us." When YHVH, your Elohim, was your sovereign. And now, here is the sovereign you have chosen and whom you have asked. And see, YHVH has set a sovereign over you. If you fear YHVH and shall serve him and obey his voice and not rebel against the commands of YHVH, then both you and the sovereign who reigns over you shall follow YHVH your Elohim. But if you do not obey the voice of YHVH and shall rebel against the mouth of YHVH, then the hand of YHVH shall be against you as it was against your fathers. And now, stand and see this great matter which YHVH does before your eyes. Is today not the wheat harvest? Let me call to YHVH so that he sends thunder and rain. Know then, and see that your evil is great, which you've done in the eyes of YHVH in asking for yourselves a sovereign. And Shemuel called to YHVH, and YHVH sent thunder and rain that day, and all the people greatly feared YHVH and Shemuel. And all the people said to Shemuel, "Pray for your servants to YHVH your Elohim, that we do not die, for we have added to all our sins this evil of asking for ourselves a sovereign." And Shemuel said to the people, "Do not fear, You have done all this evil. Only do not turn aside from following YHVH, and you shall serve YHVH with all your heart. And do not turn aside after worthless matters which do not profit or deliver, for they're worthless. For YHVH would not cast away his people for his great name's sake, seeing it has pleased YHVH to make you his people. Also, as for me, far be it from me that I should sin against YHVH in ceasing to pray for you. But I shall teach you the good and straight way. Only fear YHVH, and you shall serve him in truth with all your heart, for consider what marvels he has done for you. But if you persist in doing evil, both you and your sovereign are consumed.